Hey everybody, we're going live again. Welcome to Web Squadron. I'm Imran Siddiq. I hope you like, subscribe, share and follow if you like what we cover off today. Now we are starting about 20 seconds earlier than normal, but we're only doing 45 minutes today, and I'm just going to wait to see if everyone joins in, and hopefully anyone that does join in, they can obviously confirm that they can definitely hear and see us. Now I'm just going to open up our pages over here. It's going to bring over my web page. Always helps if I have things on the right screen, right? Okay, and we're just going to bring over another tab over here. And I'm just going to bring over this tab as well. We're going to be looking at some of these tabs because today we're looking at gradients. And the reason I'm looking at gradients is because there's so many different ways that we can use it. You've got to be careful that you don't overdo it. But what we're covering off, sorry, is how can we do gradient backgrounds, which if you use Elementor, you will be fully aware of. What about gradient buttons? And what about gradient text? But we're going to go a step further with the gradient backgrounds, with how can we make them animated. Now, we've already done a video on this previously, and if you haven't seen it, please go and have a look. But we're going to cover a lot of that off here. Remember, I'm Imran Web Squadron. Like, subscribe, share, and follow. Of course, share this as much as you can around the world because we love to communicate and work with so many of you. So I've got a basic section up here. I'm going to add in some text. It's just one column at the moment. And I'm just going to call it gradients like that, okay? And we're going to go to style. We'll give it a dark black font. We'll make it an Orbitron font. Orbitron is one of my favorite ones at the moment, okay? Just because I just love the styling of it. We're going to go to REM and I'm going to give this about 10. I'm going to make it a ridiculously big gradient size there. In fact, that's probably too big, isn't it? I'm being a bit overkill. Let's just go with 7. How about 107? No, we'll go with 7, okay? I'm not fussed about the centering of this or anything like that. Well, I am actually. I'm lying. There we go. We've centered that, okay? Now, we're going to give this a gradient background. Now, this is really, really easy. Everyone knows how to do this, or you should do. You go to the section, you go to style, you go to background. You could add in an image or a single color, or you click gradient and you then pick two colors. So let's go with orange and red there, pinky red, okay? And you can definitely see the gradient going on there. We can change the angle of it, which is dead cool. We can even change it from a linear to a radial. So now it starts in the middle, okay, and works its way out. Now, here's something that a lot of people weren't actually aware of. What if you want a solid line? Well, if I make the location of this be, say, I don't know, let's go with 49. And I make this match the 49 as well, like so. We got a clear line going on there. And look, I can change the angle. So I might decide I want a solid line cutting through the middle, roughly, or I could have a certain pattern. And this is something like a really cool effect. And when you start to use shape dividers as well, you can combine it to do some really amazing stuff. However, you can also shrink. Let me just show you here. If I now drag this line on further, you can start to mess around with where the line stops and starts. But what I wanted to show you was, let me show you again. Put it back to 50-50. If I make this be a radial, you even get a circular pattern like that. And again, this is something people don't often think about. So you can start to create some pretty nice snazzy patterns, okay, with however you want it to look. Right, this is dead simple, and this isn't why we're doing gradients. Okay, hey John, good to see you. Just saying hello. So this is the basic gradient. Okay, you can have it as a faded pattern. You can change the angle or the radial, or you can have it a solid line. What I want to talk to you about though is what if you wanted to do something completely different with an animated background. Let me just undo all of the history here. Let's go back to this point here, okay? We want to have an animated background. Now, if we go to this website here, which is gradientanimator.com, gradient-animator.com. In fact, I'll put it into the comments just so you can see it. Because I don't want you to all start running away with them. Please don't click the link and disappear yet. I'm just sharing the link with you. On this screen here, I'm going to pick two colours. I'm going to go with here. And I'm just going to pick FF0000, which I think is... Does that even work? FF. Yeah, there you go. It's got me the red colour. I'm going to add in another colour. And this time I'm going to go with 0000 FF. So FF 0000 is red. 0000 FF is actually blue. So let me hit return there. And we're going to select that as well. So now what I've got is a red and a blue color. Okay, I'm going to click preview just so we can see what's going on there. Obviously, you're going to get the purple effect, okay, because you got red and blue. Obviously, right? But what it's done here is it's generated the code. I'm going to change the angle ever so slightly like that. Click preview. And I'm now going to copy this. I'm going to copy the code, right? Just copy it as it is. I go back over to my page. I click on my section, okay? I go to advanced, I go to CSS class, and I'm going to say grad BG, grad background, all right, grad BG. I'm going to go to custom CSS. Now, if you don't have Elementor Pro, when you've given it a name, like we have in the advanced CSS class, you can stick this in the advanced CSS section for your theme. So you don't need to do it with Elementor Pro. You could use code snippets as well, but this is a really good way to do it. I'm then going to paste that in. Well, nothing happened, obviously, because I haven't changed the selector at the top to say grad BG. And look at that. You probably can't even tell, but if you keep watching it, you're going to have the blue to red merge going on there with the screen. And that's a really cool way of doing animated backgrounds. Let's make this text white now, just so it stands out a bit better. And look, we now have a moving background. That's not a video. That's not a GIF, an MPG or anything like that. This is a red to blue animated background. And what I love about this so much is if I now click add color and I now just go, right, I'm going to stick in a yellow color. Right, let's just go with the yellow. Let's preview that. I'm now just going to take the bottom of that code. I'm going to go back over to my section over here. Section. Go back to advanced, go to custom CSS, and from this point onward, I'm going to delete and paste and hit update. And when we watch that, it's going to go from blue to yellow. Look, you can see it. And then you'll get the yellow effect, and the yellow will then merge into the red. I mean, how amazing is this? An animated background for free. And the person that created this, hats off to them, Ian Forrest. CSS Gradient Animator. It's gradientanimator.com. But we can go a step further. Of course we can. What if you want to make an animated button? So I'm just going to get rid of this color here. So we only have the blue and red for now. In fact, we'll do two different colors. Let's go with a green color, like so. And we'll go with a yellow color like that. So we've got a blue and a yellow and a green color, okay? I'm going to copy that code, right? Again, copy the code. It is a great way to create animation, isn't it? I mean, this is so easy, no extra plugin. You know, and it's the CSS is given to you, just bung it in. Let's now add in a button. In fact, I need to get rid, oh dear, I've done this wrong, haven't I? Wait, let me just put this back onto red. Let me put this back onto blue, preview that. Let me take this code. So I need to put it back to what it was. Let me just get rid of that. The joys of doing things live. Right, okay. Let's now put this back to yellow and green. I could have just undone it. I'm a bit silly sometimes, aren't I? I kind of rush things. I could have just undone it. Right, let's just copy that code. Now I'm going to drop in a button. Now this you've got to think a little bit carefully about, okay? I'm going to add in another column, okay? Because this only works with columns. If you want to add an animated background to the button, it doesn't work if you add it to a button. You've got to do it on a column. So I'm going to actually get rid of that. And I'm going to add in a inner section just down here, okay? So it's just one column, okay? Did I just get rid of that? I did just get rid of that, didn't I? There we go. Let me just get rid of that column. So we just have one column for the inner section. Into that inner section, I'm going to add in a button, right? So we have the button within the inner section. I'm going to make the background for that. Let me just do it correctly here. Sorry, for the button, okay? I'm going to go to advanced, and I'm going to call this class grad button, okay? I'm now going to go to custom CSS and I'm going to dump the code in like that. And again, just change the CSS at the top to say, or the CSS selector to be grad button. And you can see there now we have the animated button, but can you see the background? It's gone all the way across the column. So this is what you have to do. You go to the styling for the button and make it completely transparent, okay? Let's just make the text of this for the button be a black color so we can see it, okay? Let's just make it bigger as well, you know, because I want you to be able to see the button, right? So there's your button, okay? But at the moment, it's all the way over there and the color is going all the way across the screen. What you now do is go to advanced for the button, not the column or the section, just the button. You go to positioning and you change the width to be custom. Look at that. We now have an animated background and we have an animated button. It's going to go from green to yellow. All right, look, it's changing, right? I now go to my column for where the button is. Okay, and for horizontal align, I'm going to say center. I now have an animated background. You can do it. Do you know what? You are right, Dom. There is a way I found a long time ago, and it was something you had to do with the code to get it to work. And I couldn't be bothered messing around, so sorry for that. But I'm showing you a way of how you can do it, where you just kind of use positioning. And yes, it is an intersection. I don't recommend doing loads of intersections, but I'm pretty sure you're not going to have 100 buttons like this all over peppered around your screen, because after a while the gimmick starts to wear off, right? So we've got the text, we've got an animated background, and we've got an animated button. But what I really wanted to talk to you about was, can we add a gradient to our text? Now here's another website called, and I'm going to copy this, and again I did a video for this. I think I did it last week. It might have been the week before. No, I think it was last week, okay? Now, this is totally free as well. I don't like to share things that cost you money. I like to give you things that are free and easy to use, because I'm not a heavy coder when it comes to CSS and HTML, and I want it to be basically easy for all of us to use. You know, I'm a web designer. I do a bit of web development, a bit of code, but I do more designing than developing. But that is why I like to say I'm a web creator. Okay, and if I need to find someone who can do more developing, I would do. Now, we have got two colors over here. I'm going to go with a really dark color for the start color and a white color. No, a gray. No, in fact, let's change it. We're going to go with a gray color for the top, like something like that. And for the bottom color, we'll go for a white color. And I'm going to make sure the gray isn't too gray. So there we go. So it's just a gentle gray to white color. You can pick whatever color scheme you want to go for, right? And right now at the top, you can actually see the gradient. This is not an animated gradient, by the way, okay? This is just a gradient effect going on here. You can start to mess around with the start and end point, and you can make it solid. Now, you can't see the text there because I've gone with white, but don't worry about that. So I'm now just going to like kind of have this as a gradual like blending mode going on there, right? It's a linear, and we can decide if it's left, right, top, bottom, however you want to change the stop and end point of that. Now down here, we have the code. I'm going to pick up this code like so. Okay, you just copy it. Nothing else fantastic going on there. We go back over here. I now go to my header. You can do this on text, anything you want really, where it's got a nice thick weighted font. We're going to give this a class of grad, we'll call it grad text, okay? I'm now going to go down to custom CSS, and I'm going to type dot grad text curly bracket and hit return so we get the closing curly bracket. It'd be nice if they gave us that over here, to be honest, but I can't fault them for what they've done. So dot grad text, because I've called it grad text as the CSS class, open curly bracket, close curly bracket, and I just drop my code in there. Now this is probably not a great example actually, because can you see there is a gradient, but it's not very clear. So let's change the color scheme here. Let's go for a yellow effect, and for the bottom we'll go with let's go with a pink color, something like that. Yep. And you can add more colors, by the way. I'm going to just copy this. Okay, you can actually like click something like this, And look, it now gives you the full colour scheme, right? But anyway, we've copied one already with yellow and pink. Let's go back over here. Let's get rid of all of that. Like so. And we're just going to paste that in there. And you can just about see it, okay? You've got this yellow and pink gradient effect going on there, okay? And if I just hit update and just shrink my screen there, we've got the header obviously isn't animated. It's not changing, okay? It is just a solid color. But the background is changing from a blue to a red. Yes, it's not a massive fast rate. You can make it faster. You know, I do want to pre-warn you and say you do have the speed over here, 30 seconds. You change that to 0 seconds. Well, I'll show you what happens, in fact. Let me show you. If you go down to custom CSS, we change that to be 0. Why is it not doing it? Come on, that's meant to be quicker. When I tested it, it was far quicker than that. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I need to put a value in. 1 second. Let me do that again. Let me try that. 1 second. There we go. Look, can you see it now? Look at that. It's just flashing. Do you really want that? I mean, that's now dead. That's dead. That's too quick. 10 seconds. That's going to be quicker, but not as quick. And if we go down to the button as well. So let's just click on the button. If I go down to the CSS class over here. Where's the transition speed? There we go. And again, you know, what if I make that 2 seconds? Or even 1 second? That do it? No, it didn't. Let me do it. There you go. 1 second. Look, it just starts to flash. You see it? You now got like a flashing button. I mean, that's probably overkill, to be honest. But we'll put it back to 10 seconds and we'll update that. But gradients, I think, if you use them carefully, you can start to add something totally different to your website. And it can start to make things quite interesting. And I'm just going to add in an image over here. I'm going to pick a, we'll go with this wolf image that I've got here. We'll leave it as the size it is. We'll go to style. We'll give it some filtering, increase the contrast a bit and the brightness. I might just do something like that. Update that. Okay, and it's just like, you know, when you have a gradient going on in the background and maybe you've got some images, remembering that everything I've shown you right now is totally free. You know, you choose your colors and you can add as many colors as you want, okay? It gives you the code. By the way, when you get it, it will look like this. A lot more code. I don't need to worry about Gecko or WebKit or Opera or any of this. I don't need to worry about that. You just pick your colors, pick your angles or however you want it, you know, do your preview, check you're happy with it, dump the code into your header, not your header, sorry, your background or your button to get the animated look. And then you got the CSS Text Gradient Generator, which has created a rainbow effect using these colors. And if I get rid of the blue, look, the blue is gone. I get rid of the red, it's gone. You know, look, so you can have so many different effects about what you want to have. And you can even do stuff like this. You know, you can start to make it like really, really cool and like, you know, it's quite funky as to what you can do. You know, I just think it's a great, easy, free way to add stuff in. Hey Umberto, good to see you. I think it's just a really cool way of how you can add in effects. And like I said, if you want to be super ultra crazy, and I would not do this, okay, I am strongly recommending you do not do this. But if you wanted to go in here and say 1 second, and we'll go to this button and we'll say, hey, let's make the button 1 second as well. And I'm sure at this point I'm going to lose all of my subscriptions. Okay. I mean, look at that. Isn't that going to start hurting your eyes? The background changes and the button is going yellow, green, yellow, green, yellow, green as well. And it's just like, it's like a police car chasing you right now, isn't it? I think I need to undo that pronto before it hurts everyone's eyes, because it's hurting my eyes now. There we go. So these are just some really cool ways, I think, of doing stuff. And look, if you go over here to the text for the heading, and I then type in a return, and I say text, hello. You know, look, it continues the gradient. So your gradient isn't just going to be stuck to one location. It will follow it around. Let's just make this be about 50 from the top so you guys can see it all on the screen there. So, oh, sorry, so I got a question here. Really enjoying your content. Yeah, no, thanks, Dom. I love to find things that are... If I've signed something that's really, really useful and good for me, That's why I do my videos. So, you know, when I do videos, often it's because I've just discovered a new way of doing something and I really want to share it out with everyone else out there. Humberto, can you do that with mesh gradients too? I haven't tried it with mesh gradients yet, but I'm pretty sure that if you were, because this is a CSS code you're adding, if you can apply a CSS code to something, there must be a way to do it. Now, this animated background didn't work with the header, and it was really bugging me as to why it's just not working, and I'm sure I'll work out a way. But this did work, but it's a static gradient. But I will have a look at the mesh gradients as well, and just see like how can we get that to work. I mean, I'm just going to test out now. So at the minute I've got a background, okay, and it's like a changing color background. If I go to the style for my section, okay, and I pick gradient here, what it's actually doing now is it's added in a color. Can you see that? So if I add in, this is now quite cool. If I add in a black, and I change this one to be a clear color like that, okay, and I just change the angle now to be about 44 and say 44. Let me try and do something like, no, that's probably, how weird is that? Isn't that super weird? So I've got this animated background, which, you know, is the which was the blue and red. I've now added in a black and transparent. It's a bit annoying that the transparent here, right, doesn't go fully transparent. But I mean, I could pick a color here now, like red, for instance, like that. How weird is that? So because of the background is moving in terms of the animation, is that super, super weird, or is that not super, super weird? Kind of thing, like. So I love to experiment, and I'm going to have to experiment a bit more to just see what we get. Let's just put it back to that effect there. And, oh dear, why has it gone black for? Why has it gone black? Hold on, it's probably because I haven't removed everything on here. Sorry, background, padding. There we go, right, yeah. So I am going to try and experiment and see how far can I use this animated background. Because remember that if I just show you here, if I just create a new column over here, okay, and I go here and I now pick a pink color, let's go with a pink like that, and down here we'll pick a white color like that. So I now have my color. Okay, remember what I'm doing here. I'm going to go over to this column and I'm going to give it a CS class of, I'm going to call it grad col. Go to my custom CSS for the column, drop this code in, which I've done completely wrong there. Pick that up, whoops. Pick up the code, right? Go over here and then just paste that in, but change this to say grad col. Right, and then I add in and let's get rid of the text that we had here just so we can see things better, right? You can see what I'm doing, basically. I'm pretty sure you can. And I'm now just going to drop in a spacer here just to increase the size of it. In fact, you probably can't see it because it's over me, isn't it? Let me get rid of the fox or the wolf, right? Let me just do update and do that. That pink box is going to turn to white. You can increase the speed, remember. It's on a 30-second loop almost effect as it transitions. It takes 30 seconds to transition. You can change it to be 10 seconds, 5 seconds, whatever you want. But again, this is just another funky way of adding something different. So, whoopsie daisy, what did I just do? Did I delete that? There we go. So let me just go back to my column. Right, let me change this to be 10 second changeover, right? Let's go over here. Let's now go for progress bars, for instance. Let's drop some progress bars in. Okay, so you could have like, you know, you could have tons and tons of progress bars, whatever. But then you've got this nice effect going on, kind of thing like behind it. So adding variation, especially when you have a black and white website, so very grayscale. You get a grayscale effect going on there. And this is just kind of like, it's just an easy way on the eye, I think, and it just adds something different. Anyone got any questions about that at the moment, though? Yeah, so Dom, when you say change the percentage value, what are you thinking of then? So I know that if I change it to like 1, it's going to be ridiculously, scarily fast. But do you want to clarify what you meant by that as well? Oh, sorry, yeah, you mean with the values over here? Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I mean, here you got the positioning for where the colours are. But if I change this to be like 40... Oh, yeah, I never saw that. Can you see that line moving? Oh, what happens when you get 4% then? That's quite funky, isn't it? So we'll go with 40. And then I go with 40 there. Whoa, this is blowing my mind. I never experimented too much with the percentage values there, but this is kind of like... This is too much. This is like, where are we going with this? But it's quite... I mean, I just think that like the power of what you can do with this is wonderful. And I was a little bit surprised when I came across these about 2 or 3 weeks ago, because I was thinking, why do we not hear about these a lot more? Maybe we did and I just haven't come across them. But they're not mentioned in many blogs, hardly any blogs at all. And I just don't see them being mentioned. And I'm one of those people where I like to try and defeat the reason for why we need to use a plugin. So you get a plugin and the plugin goes, hey, do you want a gradient button? Install this plugin for a gradient button. And I'm like, well, you could apply a gradient to the button. Now we can also do an animated gradient to the button. So if we can reduce the need to do basically using lots of widgets or plugins, it just helps the system. And I am a big believer that anyone out there that says Elementor has bloat, I got a video coming out, I think it's tomorrow, where on one of our main websites, which I'll quickly show you, Web Squadron, can't even remember the title of it, websquadron.co.uk. This web page that I've just currently modified, okay, and you've got some like, you know, like animation going on there and a bit more there. You got an MPG video playing here. Can you see the rain moving? And you can see the little fiery embers flying out as well. And you've got a bit more motion effect and all of that. That web page is hitting 98% on page speed insights. We're not cheating. We're not using NitroPack. We're not using WP Rocket. I'm not using any premium, just auto-optimize. And, you know, we have got a video coming out tomorrow that talks about the settings I use in auto-optimize and WP Fastest Cache, how you can use bulk resize photos.com. That's bulk resize photos.com to convert your images from like 3 megabytes into like 50 kilobytes as a WebP. It does it for you, so save yourself the plugin. But again, any way I can reduce you having plugins, you can just stick code into your website. I mean, the amount of fun that you can have with doing stuff like this, I think is just, I don't want to say crazy, but it is, for me, it is crazy, okay? And I'm going to go back to this text over here, okay? I'm just going to redo this. I'm going to just pick my start color to be, in fact, we'll leave it as the blue and red. No, we won't. I will go with FF0000. I'm going to put this one to be 0000FF. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. Get my code, right? You're going to see what I'm doing in a moment. Okay, I'm going to go over to this text. Stay with me on this, people. Don't run away. I'm going to go over here. Go to my custom CSS. Just get rid of everything we have here. Like that. Put this code in, so now we have the blue and... Oh, I'm so silly. I'm so silly. I need to make it a hard color. So I'm going to go with about 41. I'm going to make this be about 41-ish. No, we'll go with about... we'll go with something like that. No, we'll go to... No, we'll go to about... We'll go to 60%. It'd be so much easier if you could just type it in. Like, hey, just type 60%. Anyway, 60%. I can't fault them, you know. Sometimes I just have to... You have to accept the fact that it is so good in what it does, right? Let's just put that code in there so we now get that effect, okay? Stay with me on this, okay? I'm now going to go to the background that I currently have here, okay? I'm just going to duplicate this, so I've got a copy of it below, right? I'm going to go to this background here. I'm going to go to advanced. I'm actually going to get rid of the background completely. Get rid of the class. The class is now not activated. Go to style. Go to gradient here. I'm going to just pick let's just go with a blue color. Let's just go with 0000FF, like that. Was that 000FF? No, I did too many zeros. There we go. The 00 effect there. I'm then going to go with a transparent effect like that. I'm going to change the angle. No, I'm not. I'm going to make this be about 48. Change the angle to be like a solid color like that. I mean, I'm just going to move it to be 61. Oh, that's a pity, isn't it? 60.5. All right, we'll go with 60. I'll make that be 60 as well. Go to my text. You know, look, I'm just playing around here, okay? So I'm sorry if I'm not doing this in any scientific way. Let's just make a bit of spacing like that. You know, and again, look, that's probably a rubbish example. Again, right, I'm sorry, really, really sorry. Right, let's just change this to be white. What am I doing? What am I doing? Why am I so crazy? Okay, so let's go with F 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 5 6. There we go. Let's now just get that code. Go back over here. Just go back to the text. You can see what I'm doing, right? You can see what I'm doing. You're probably thinking, what a load of rubbish. Okay, so again, it's just like a different... look at my N. You can't even read my N. It's just out of view. Calm down, Imran. Stop messing around. Right? Focus. I think that will do it. No, that's not going to do it. It's because I'm going the wrong way, actually. I need to... Oh dear. I've got to go to... If I go with like that, that might do it. No, I'm getting it wrong. Anyway, look, you know what I was trying to get to? I was trying to get a solid line there, okay, between the two. And it's obviously not working perfectly every time I do the preview. But by using like gradients with a solid a split between the color rather than a blend, I can start to create different effects. Normally, you might have done that with you. Normally, you would have done that actually by in here, putting in HTML in there. So you would have had a HTML color for gradient, and then another bit of font color for the NTS. So yes, you can do that all here, but you could save yourself the hassle and just have this create the code for you, especially if you're doing like, I mean, God, look at this one here. What is going on here with the radial effect? You know, or you just want to do like, you know, like some of these wonderful effects that you go on here. So many colors, so much choice and stuff you can do. And I think that this is going to help you with your creativity no end. Okay, honestly, seriously, right? It's going to help you do so much stuff. And I think, right, have a play with this. Now, I'm only got about 10 minutes left. We covered off, I think we've covered off 3 things here. You know, gradient sections, animated gradient columns, animated gradient buttons, and gradient text, not animated text, but gradient text. That's 4 things we've covered off. And you just go away and play and have a bit of freedom. Don't overuse them. I do think that we can get carried away, though, if we have too many toys. So if we put in too much stuff, you know, you start to over-abuse this, and I think it would start to get a bit messy, especially because you're changing color schemes. So right now, that's going from like blue to red. But the middle color there, can you see it's like a murky? It's not very nice, is it? And at the same time, if you've got white text on here, and then you switch to a darker color, are you going to be affecting the text? Do you know what I mean? So your background now makes your text a bit unreadable. However, if you're just adding a bit of variation, and like what I did here, where I added in an image, and let's just add in a image of a fiery sword, for instance. Let's just make this be about 100-ish, 100-ish. There we go. You know, and let's go with the motion effect. Let's go with the scrolling effect. Let's go with the rotate. Let's just go with something like that. You know, as you've got this background changing color, you know, you're just adding something different, okay? And I would say go away and have fun and play with it. Now, like I've said, you know, we've got about 7 minutes to go. Has anyone got any questions about gradients or anything I've shown, or you want me to go back over again? Let me get rid of the button so you can see that column changing color. Or anything particular about Elementor, or anything you would love us to cover in future sessions. I do want to let you know, though, that on our website, you know, we actually have got... Why did I close it down? Because it's right there, okay? But on our website, if you go right to the bottom over... No, it's not on the bottom. No, it's not on there. I need to stick it back on there. No, it is on there. There it is. Join the free 5-day challenge. Please, if you know anyone who would love to learn more about Elementor and domains and hosting, color schemes, fonts and all of that, and how to build websites, we've got a 5-day challenge coming up towards the end of November. Please let them know and come and sign up. It's free, okay? And I'm not saying you guys do this, okay? I'm not trying to say you must do this, but if you want to do it, please join. You've got 46 days left to sign up. It's totally free. Either come along or let other people know if you know someone wants to learn about websites. But I'm not here to sell anything to you, okay? It's totally free. But anyone got any questions about gradients? And I will wait for approximately 2 more minutes. I'll give it 2 minutes, and then if I don't get any questions, I'll sign off. But I hope this has been super useful. And by the way, I am looking at a screen over here just to check if there's any questions or anyone else coming in. But I hope this has been useful. Remember, the links are up here, okay? In the chat, have a look at them. We've got the CSS Gradient Animator, free to get animated gradients for your sections and your columns and your buttons. And if you go to the CSS Text Gradient Generator, God, that's giving me a sore throat talking like that. That's going to be great for your headers. And you can apply it to text as well, right? So if you've got a text box, okay, you know, you got a text box somewhere or wherever you want to put it, okay, and you've made it in a super heavy duty font, you know, whatever you're doing with it, okay, you know, something like that. That's a rubbish color we've got on going there, right? And you add it to that, you're going to get the gradient for that as well. Okay, yeah, I'm glad to have you, John. And I hope this just helps you all to think a little bit differently. That's my mission. How can I help myself? How can I help you? How can I help the world become a better, peaceful place? You know, I'm all about world peace. But I love my Pepsi Max, so I don't think they go well together. But if I don't get any questions in 2 minutes, I'm going to sign off. Thank you, everyone that's joined in. Thank you, everyone that's watching, whether you're watching this live or on replay. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share to the world, and follow us on the Facebook or our Instagram or wherever we are. And do reach out and communicate with us when we're on Facebook. Just about anywhere as well. And I hope those that do, I hope you're happy that I do try to reply as soon as possible. Okay, because I don't like to keep people waiting. So look, take care, everyone. I'm going to sign out now. Okay, so I'm going to end the stream. Hey, yeah, Elsteg, don't think I've come across you. But if I have, sorry if I don't know who you are, but thanks for joining in. But take care, and I'll see you soon. And now I have to have a think about what should we cover in next week's live session. Take care, everyone. Love you all. Bye.